Hey y'all, welcome back to Skate 3. I'm Insetic, with me again is Blank Tester,
Hey kids, how's it going?
Turo,
Hey.
and Zindictive.
What's up, lads?
Good grief, he's naked.
Boom!
Oh my
I got
God.
the dog tattoo. Yeah, so in this video we're doing the 3 Own the Lots in the Industrial District, and yeah, I've got the big dog tattoo on my back.
Yeah. You didn't get
Dog
the
in the
big
place
dog
up.
t-shirt, you got the big dog tattoo on your
Okay,
back.
to front load with information that I actually want the, comment section, the viewers to hear. Well, last time we talked all about the, Skate 4 release trailer and such, and this time I just want to bring up that recently, late June, early July 2022, if you know the game Street Uni X, the creator of that, Daffodil, who we've had on some videos before, has been accepted into kind of a program that gives them like a publisher and I think some money, some funding.
Oh shit, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So you could
Good on
get
them.
all the details on their Discord and follow that. And also, if you haven't, play Street Uni X because it was pretty cool.
It's really cool.
For those who don't know, isn't it? It's a unicycle game based on the old Tony Hawk's, or
Yeah,
Yeah.
specifically
Dave Mirra
the
specifically?
PS1 era Tony Hawk game.
Yeah,
Right.
and if you really, really love your Tony Hawk, it does have a school level right now. So,
Right.
It's like, it's very, very faithful. It's not like a recreation of any of the Tony Hawk levels or anything like that. It's like whole new content, but and a whole new engine probably.
yeah,
Right,
it's
Or like,
Just indie game that honestly before Tony Hawk went into remake even got announced was genuinely the closest thing to that actual type of Tony Hawk game. And so it's really cool to see, as part of the indie scene, Daffodil and their game, getting this advancement.
yeah, and there's
Yeah, that
definitely
is
a
really
renaissance going on right now with the skateboarding genre when it comes to the indie scene. It's really cool to see.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad extreme sports generally are coming back, because
Yeah.
I don't know, I just feel like there have been times throughout my gamer life where it feels like the market's been saturated with like one genre or one style, and it feels nice that the gaming feels like it's diversifying again in a way that it hadn't for a little while. For a while everything was a first-person shooter. For a while everything was looked like Minecraft. Everything was a survival game. And it's nice that we're seeing stuff that doesn't feel like it doesn't have to as much as I like merging genres, there's some times where you just don't need to, and I don't want them to do it just for the sake of doing it,
Actually, I just heard from John EA himself that Skate 4, they're officially changing the name to Skate 4, and it's going to be a Battle Royale game.
Battle Royale survival game? Okay. By the way, just so you know, his name is John... Yeah!
You have to say
say
it as if you're
You
in
must
pain
say it
as
like
well.
that.
It's the, it's a cultural thing. So, if you don't
Yeah.
pronounce it that way, it's kind of rude.
He saw it in his birth name, John. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. If you just say John Ea, it's like
It's a different name.
The non-formal part of it, and if you don't know him, then it's
A little.
disrespectful.
Yeah. If you just say Johnny, it's like, oh my god, are you okay? Sorry, I thought you were gagging. I thought you were
Are
about
you
to
okay?
throw up
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah.
Is he passing out? Oh, no.
Oh,
He
this
just doesn't
mission.
know my name.
Oh, this mission. Can we talk about this mission really quickly?
Check this, Bob. You're gonna like this. So you drop into the pipe, and you have to
Already
go through
like this.
You have to go through the pipe, and
5x5?
Whee!
Oh, shit!
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Oh,
And
man.
then you fall off your board. No, that's the
part of
first.
it.
That's the first
part
only
of
time
it.
that happened to me. But yeah, you have to ride the pipe, and it's designed in a way that you pretty much do end up doing a loop-de-loop, and then you go for a cool transfer, which I wish it was more consistent, but whatever.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
This seems like a safety hazard.
This
I
seems
feel like
like a
people
safety
should not be
hazard.
alone in this.
I also, as cool as this is, it's also making me realize I'm more claustrophobic than I thought I was.
Oh! Well, would it make you more claustrophobic if your hand got stuck in a skateboard? Oh,
that would really freak me out.
Would you
I
make
don't.
it more claustrophobic if you brained yourself on the way in.
yeah.
That would make me.
If you
no,
got brain,
I feel like I'd be less claustrophobic afterwards.
But
Forever.
also less alive, yeah.
I'd be
Yeah.
less alive. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
so, I mean,
really
we
quickly.
didn't- Okay, go ahead.
oh no, it was going to be for a bit. I was going to start a bit. You had something
I was
important to say.
okay. I was just gonna say, like, yeah, we didn't really talk about like own the lots that much last time because I mean we were talking about the
busy,
skateboard
yeah.
thing, and again, they're a nice idea or such. Pretty often these challenges will take you like several attempts just because it's hard
crazy.
to do specifically what they want. But I mean, it never. None of these ever feel like, oh my god, this is one I just cannot do. I'm retrying over and over. They
Except
give
for
you
the
enough
ones in the DLC.
Are the DLC ones really bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a
Yeah.
lot harder.
I don't. People say like that, like one specific challenge in the nebulous concept of the DLC is the one hard own the lot challenge, but it's always like different for everyone. Like the cumulative list challenge in the Marafa Skate Park DLC in the Sandvan Throwback Pack. That's the one that always gave me the trouble. And then there's the one own the spot in the After Dark pack that gave a lot of people trouble that also gave me trouble. But yeah, a lot of people seem to vary on what the most difficult part of the Own the Lots DLC in the DLC is.
Yeah, the DLC of the Skate series is weird. I'll say that much. When it comes to its difficulty and challenge, it's like they want to make it more harder than the main game, but they're only essentially making it harder for the sake of making it harder and not for the sake of like flow or technicality and such. And it becomes messy. It doesn't
think it's
become remembered for being good. It's remembered for being
But really
hard.
quickly, what were you going to say, Anesthetic?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we could be more serious. We can just try and goof for, the next 30 minutes. Because, like, it feels awkward for me to stop something and be like, haha, okay, I actually have an
Yeah.
opinion about this. But I mean, like, yeah, on these, like, own the lots, the various things, I mean, so, sometimes I can talk about one specific part of it more than others. Like, here, this challenge is, like, a no-brainer. They give you a bunch of time. It's a little tough to jump up to these, but
Yeah.
once you can, it's obvious. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always thought it was weird. Like, sometimes games will do, like, DLC that's, like, the challenge levels. And I'm like, okay, cool, I get it, right? Like, if I'm interested in this game, but I've mastered it, and I want a challenge, I get by the challenge levels, right? Like, that makes sense. But when you just have DLC, and it's just, like, a throwback pack, or, like, whatever, but it's harder than the main game, I always found that really weird, because I'm like, there are a lot of casual players who aren't looking for more challenge, they're just looking for more game.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like we're kind of missing out on that, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because, like, as I get older, I didn't even realize this was possible, but I'm becoming more of a casual gamer. Like, I just am not. I used to play games for the fun,
challenge.
and well, first I played for the fun, then I played for the challenge, then I played for the achievements, which was a dark time in my life.
Yeah.
God.
And-
God
And I
bless your soul.
have finally matured enough to recognize that I do not give a shit about achievements. And part of that was moving from console to PC, because, like, I just don't care to look at anybody else's achievements. Like, when I was on Xbox, I could very quickly look at what achievements Connor had and go, ugh, Connor has that achievement. I want that achievement. And then try to go get it. And then, like, or, like, I'd be like, I want people who look at my profile to see, oh, he is 100%ed, Star Wars Force Unleashed. And I never managed to, even though I played the whole game on the hardest difficulty and was, like, pissed about it the whole time. And no, never got all the achievements. And I just don't give a shit anymore,
I
So,
wish
like,
I could grow
when
up from achievements.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't even necessarily, I said matured, but I don't know if it was that it's a natural part of maturing. I think it's more like, that's just the way I changed, Because, like, I have too much other shit going on in my life. I can't expend energy on thinking about it at all. I don't have time.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
so-
a guy in a mini server who I think is like top 5 in his like Canadian province in gamer score,
Oh wow.
which is like nuts to me.
You know,
That's,
actually,
yeah, that is crazy.
this is the perfect time sort of to talk about these sort of on the list, because you see worst activity ever. This is 3 minutes of your life you'll never get back, da-da-da. Like, the joke from the developers is that, oh, this activity sucks. And what this is, you know, grinding a bunch of rails down this thing, and on all of them you have to, like, caveman and, you know, grind on this. And it makes me kind of wonder, because honestly, I would not call this anywhere near the worst activity or challenge in Skate 3, you know? Like, again, whenever I pick this, I always have more than enough time to do it. I never have to restart it. I always get it done in less than the 3 minutes it gives me. So it makes me kind of think, like, you know, the difference between how a player sees it and how the developers see it, or at least the dev that was responsible for the info for this. Because for this to be the worst activity ever, it would kind of imply, like, someone who can get whatever they are trying to do first try in this game. And so this, where they have to stop and start and stop and start, is worse than any challenge where, like, the players, or it's lined up so that, you know, it's really hard to do and you have to try it over and over and over and over.
Like it's a bunch of perfect executions in a row.
This might be the worst challenge ever to someone who never, you know, failed on Dunk Slam. To someone who can always get 15,000 points in 2 minutes without struggling at all, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
because
is
Kind of
weird.
see what I mean? Like,
I was gonna say, like, obviously what they mean is, like, it's tedious, but what you're saying is that, like, this is the worst activity ever to someone whose biggest challenge in this game is tedium, and not the actual difficult parts of the game.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
yeah, and so maybe I'm overthinking it, but maybe that might lead into, you know, kind of understanding why some challenges end up being, like, surprisingly hard to, you know, a decent amount of the fan base.
Yeah.
And you know, sure, like Black Box, it never seems like they went, you know, they responded back to the players, but then you also see some games where people point out, like, oh my god, this thing is impossible or whatever, and the devs basically mock them.
I mean, there was, again, in Mike Carroll's pro challenge in this game, he jokingly challenges you to a game of Skate and then says, just kidding.
Yeah, I think, like, kind of calling what we just did worst, you know, ever was a little more down the train of thought path than just, like, a cheeky reference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they're both lampshading, but they're different kinds of lampshading. One is just like lampshading the fact that we're in a game, and the other one is lampshading like this is well, they're using
you're
the
gonna
word
hate
worst.
having to do this.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
but like it's kind of silly to even lampshade it like that, because it's like I'm playing the game because you wanted to make a fun game and I wanted to play a fun game. So like I don't know, like it's not like this game is like, okay, now you need to give yourself a titty twister. Like the game is not punishing you. Or at least it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, there were events that I was looking forward to a lot less because, well, doing them before, I struggled quite a bit, and I knew I was gonna struggle when recording.
Yeah.
A lot more than just like, oh, I have to do this 7 times in, you know.
Yeah, see, like, I think in this case, you know, we're talking about a studio that had proper funding and probably had a pretty decent QA team who was, you know, looking for what would be too difficult. And there are, like, lots of small games that don't have those luxuries. And so, like, they might, I don't know, like, this game can afford to lampshade that a little bit, where other
I was
games
gonna say,
can't.
this game has goodwill.
You know, yeah,
Like,
it has goodwill.
imagine if a Crave game pulled that joke.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
right? Like, that would really piss me off. Like, it would genuinely piss me off if a Crave game did it. Or, like, you know, you think back to, like, games that are notoriously hard, and then you, like, people ask the devs, what were you thinking when you designed it this way? And they're like, well, in the game, like, in the team, we all were able to do it. We didn't think it was that hard. You know, like, that that one Alien game that Civi covered.
Aliens, Colonial Marines.
No, not Colonial Marines. That was
The PS1 game that was actually really impressive.
Isolation.
Yeah.
Not isolate. Wait.
Not Isolation, but it's that one from the PS1 where like the people at the time were like, this control scheme is insane, and you look at the control scheme and it's like the blueprint for modern FPS controls. You know, like it was like the first of its kind, and like the people who made the game made it without using thumbsticks, but like they were able to beat the game, and they were like, it doesn't seem that bad. And that's just because they'd had so much practice with it that they didn't realize that new players were going to have so much trouble with the game.
Yeah.
It's that like legendarily hard game.
Right.
Like even Civi, who is like, experienced boomer shooter god, apparently.
Yeah.
Like he had to cheat to beat the game, I think.
So like imagine if you're playing that game and like a level name comes up and it says like the worst level. You'd be like, fuck off.
God.
Eat shit. Like I hate this. So like, the game Skate 3 has a lot of goodwill that it's riding on when it does stuff like that. And,
and it's earned it.
It's earned it. It's not like it's unearned. It's absolutely earned.
Although it's also like, situational, because again, like we were talking about, what if they, instead of naming it Dunk Slam, they named it Worst Challenge Ever? Yeah. It would also make no sense in the context of the story because it's a story mission, but like...
You would need to, if you were gonna name a mission Worst Challenge Ever, you would need to make sure to not, you should at least make sure to not name the mission you actually think is the worst mission ever. Because that's not lampshading anymore.
That's why instead of giving it to a challenge that's actually hard and difficult, they gave it to one that's just
tedious, yeah.
Full circle.
Okay, I could see more like the joke part of it. Rather than like the thought experience. I mean, I never thought it was 100% serious, but I mean, just as you just saw across the past mission, sure, it was doable. No part of it is incredibly hard, but just in this run specifically, none of it really looked good. Like I always just kind of barely got something that worked, and so just overall after playing, I just kind of felt like it all worked, but I
you're not
really
putting that in
feel
your
at any
skate
moment
montage.
was cool. I was just kind of and again, sometimes that can happen with these. I mean, but the industrial zone specifically has a lot of really good in the Own the Lots, a lot of really good like gap challenges and putting you in areas to start with or drop out from that you can't normally get to. A lot of good extra use of the environment, like more than you can do just riding around without glitches. With launch glitches and such, you can get anywhere, but if you couldn't do that, this would be the only way you could get up, and start from certain points.
Yeah, like not like you couldn't. You go ahead, Zed. Oh, okay. Well, not like you couldn't.
I say Turo goes first because alphabetically they are first.
Yeah.
I was like, not that this area wasn't like hard to skate before, but they've almost turned it into like a mini skate park with these objects that they've dropped around here. Like, you've got this rail, like, none of this was here before. They dropped it for the challenge, even though these are all physics objects that you can drop yourself. But, like, that ramp, this table right here, like...
Yeah. Zin, you go, and then I have a thought.
Okay, well, I was gonna say that I do believe that the factory Own the Lots are the most interesting, unique of all the Own the Lots in this game, because they just have so much more unique spots to them compared to the city ones, like the whole pipe transfer, just the weird park area that you did beforehand, like one of those kinds of worst skate parks ever sort of areas, and yet you were able to pull off some spots and everything, like some skaters made videos in horrible parks and what have you, and just really interesting sort of gaps and lines throughout the whole place that make it such a unique experience to go through compared to the city ones, where it does feel kind of like samey in a sense, but here it's like you get something different and fresh a lot of the time, because the factory area is kind of unique and fresh in a way. It is kind of its like own personality in a sense that is interesting to explore and look at. And they're really showcasing it to you.
You know, okay. I agree. I don't have any.
Yeah, you said you were next.
Yeah,
So
I was
you're
just gonna
next.
say, when you were talking about the, oh man, that was a crazy grind. You know, you were talking about like the way they placed objects, and like Skate has always had the ability to like place objects and like move objects around and stuff. And I'm wondering, like, would Skate 4 benefit from like a Death Stranding type thing where like you just find objects other players have placed in the world and you can upvote it? And, like, you can give people likes and stuff. Like, that'd be kind of cool, right?
I mean,
it's the advancement, you know. Yeah, Skate 3, you can drop any object you want, anywhere you want. Skate 4, now you gotta deal with the objects other people have dropped.
Other people drop. But, like, you know, if there's, like, a ramp leading to a rooftop, you could be like, oh, shit, okay, that's cool. Let me use that, and then, like it, and then take the ramp, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, Skate 2, we had, you know, creator spot sort of things. We create your own little challenge and such. Skate 3, we had the ability to, like, make our own spots anywhere we want of all sorts of objects and such. Skate 4, you just do all of that and you can make the whole world just be and, you know, bring these spots in out of thin air or something, like skate on and like make their own thing out of it.
To be fair, in Death Stranding, it's not like it pulls in every object anyone has ever placed.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it only pulls in, like, some objects, and it's, like, got a limited number that will appear across the entire map, and then each time you come back, the objects can be different.
Yeah,
you know, but if you put your own objects down, those stay.
Yeah, ultimately, it's like you're seeing like the footprints of all sorts of scares and such, having their own little like personalities put into all these places and such that you can experience yourself and all. That could be helpful, could be cool.
That could be kind of cool.
Yeah,
like putting down rails maybe would be kind of cool.
Yeah, so like two things. One, that previous mission was a "I'm on a boat" reference. You know.
Oh yeah,
you remember that Lonely Island?
On a boat.
I'm on a boat, and
I really
it's
hope,
going fast, and
I really hope Skate 4, even though it's coming 3 years from now, has a bunch of 2022 memes in it. And like,
I hope it has a bunch of 2020 memes in it, and it'll just be god awful.
But then to continue your discussion, how, I guess, quote unquote, smart was Death Stranding with, you know, what objects it will show to you versus objects it doesn't. Like, yeah, I could see a ramp someone put leading to a roof being a good, nice thing to bring into your game and you know, have it be like a natural thing some other skater put down versus like a giant dumpster that someone put in just to fuck with.
It's Death Stranding is great about it because like if you see an object you don't like in Death Stranding, like it's actually in your way, you can dismantle it. So it's not like it's you can't put up a wall and prevent people from beating the game, for example. But like, if you see a bridge and you want to use the bridge, not only is it important that you use the bridge and give it a like, or give it multiple likes. If you smash the like button, genuinely in the game it'll give more likes. But
the like button, everybody.
It's on a little timer, and like you have to smash it as fast as you fucking can, because of course you do.
As part of the director's cut, can you join that Bridges OnlyFans?
Yes. Yeah, I wish. But the other thing is, it tracks how many people use it without liking it, how many people use it with liking it, and also like how many people just ignore it. And those kinds of metrics keep the stuff that shows up in your game useful.
Remember when we were up here?
Oh my god.
Yeah, up here for that one challenge I did. Yeah, so as part of a challenge, the game will actually put... Now, it's not as big or wild as the challenge I copied, but again, like, just like I said, you know, Industrial District really starting you in places you could never get to otherwise.
It's really cool.
Dope.
Yeah, okay.
That was really cool.
I don't
know. I think it would be cool, maybe. The thing is, like, in Death Stranding, there's a whole set of mechanics around the way that sharing objects works, and like the whole game is built around that. So like, if you don't repair objects, they will degrade and get destroyed. You know, so like, I can put a bridge down, that does not mean that bridge is gonna stay there forever. If my bridge is useless to people, no one will repair it, and if no one repairs it, then it'll go away.
Right, like this can't be transferred 1-to-1, but I mean,
Right.
if Skate 4 wants to advance the multiplayer aspect from what Skate 3 did, you know, what are ways that could kind of be done? You know, like having objects and such that one person put in, you know, show up in other people's worlds.
Yeah.
Could be something, or like you know, if it's rated highly or something. I mean, you know, yeah, just thinking. Partly goofing, but partly kind of thinking.
Yeah, just kind of leave. And like the other thing is like Death Stranding is also very particular about where you can place things. So it's not like you could do like a bridge and then a bridge from your bridge and then another bridge from that bridge. Like you can't do it like that. Like they have like a little radius around them. You can't build two things too close together, kind of thing. Yeah. So like in the case of Skate, there's a lot of like you could put like a rail on top of a block, on top of a dumpster, and like use those things to create a rail line or something. And like they can all physics interact with each other. And like I don't know how they would choose what to share and what wouldn't share.
Right.
You know,
like part
would
of
you share everything that's by physics connected to each other, or just the rail? You know.
Right. Part of Skate 3 is that anything is possible and the game doesn't care. Like you can put down some really realistic thing, you know, a kicker to a rail you put down and do like a, you know, I don't know, 360 flip to a front blunt on it. Or you could just like chain rails together to literally grind from the top of one map down to the bottom of the other.
Yeah.
This reminds me of the Object Dropper mod in Skater XL worked with the multiplayer mod, and also worked when they added multiplayer into the game.
Huh.
And of course, it's a mod with no real restrictions. You could just put shit down anywhere.
Right.
So basically, it's the opposite of what you were talking about, where it's like this very controlled,
right?
And like make sure it works in tune with everything else in the game, as compared to this, which is a literal mod that, like, you could do anything with, no matter if it fucked you or anyone else over.
Yeah.
Yeah, no care placed into the balance of it. And, like, there's definitely a place for that in game development. Sometimes you want super open-ended tools. Sometimes you're trying to create a curated experience. Kojima famously wants to create extremely curated experiences, so, you know, it's not surprising that his system would be very closed off while, you know, modders would create very open systems.
Yeah, also, I mean, it's kind of like...
I was gonna bring up something about Skate 4 again, where it's like a nice little idea thing, and it's kind of about something that this game and the previous games have done and built upon more and more, but it also has to do with, like, what Tony Hawk 1+2 has pulled off, and that is reigniting this love for creating parks and areas and such, and just how far people can go with, like, creating these sort of areas and making something unique and cool to skate and everything. I'm wondering how Skate could pull that off in a way, because we have seen how the park editors and such have worked, especially in Skate 3 here. So, with how technology has advanced with park editors, especially from 1+2, it'll be cool to see, like, how advanced parks can get with Skate 4 at this point, and how interesting, unique things can really be, and like all of the parties that can happen from, like all the multiplayer parties and such that can happen in so many parks.
Yeah, like I mean, we talked about the park editor in 1-2 remake. It was wild.
It's great, yeah.
And
it's
also,
an incredible park editor.
Like, there's been several recent videos by, you know, people who have modded the X3, you know, playable version of Skate 3 to, like, put giant ramps out in areas you couldn't put anything back in the original game, and do things that are only possible with modding or such. And yeah, it is sort of a thing of how much does the base game want to do. You know, like, again, thinking about, like, the Halo series, because that keeps happening. I mean, back when, like, Halo 3 and Reach, you know, came out, their forges let you do a certain amount of things, and then when they were put on, you know, Master Chief Collection, just naturally you were allowed to do so much more, like,
I mean, like, it's not just that.
Amounts.
Like, Halo 4 has had a pretty decent forge, but then, like, Halo 5 really, really blew up what what Forge could do, and like Halo Infinite's Forge, we've seen leaks. It looks incredible, right? Like you can change not just the time of day, you can change the weather on the maps. You can make them like snowy instead of sunny, and like springtime. Like you can change all kinds of shit. You can put dead bodies all over the place. You can do Lewis scripting.
Yeah.
You can do straight up Lewis scripting in the game, and like
Wow.
that's a level of control that I worry about, because like not because I think people are gonna do horrible things with it, but like if we set a standard as a community that this is what game tools need to be, right? Like what if after Halo Infinite they make Halo 6.5 or whatever the fuck they call it, and it has Forge tools that are less powerful? What the fuck is the community gonna do? They'll piss and moan about it.
Yeah.
The same way, like, if Skate 4's tools aren't as powerful as Tony Hawk Remake's tools, we need to be able to say, like, okay, well, these are different people. They don't have access to the code for Tony Hawk 1 and 2. It's built on a different engine. They're just doing their own thing, right? Like, maybe the tools don't need to be so fucking complicated.
Yeah,
but
like,
people will complain.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we've seen where, by the end of Skate 3, and again with the footage going into Skate 4, we've seen, obviously how the Skate series has defined itself in terms of realism and such. I mean, it's obviously a lot more realistic than, like, the Tony Hawk series, because everything has ended up being this, physics momentum based. And
right.
again, it's a really, good format or whatever. But does that mean that, any Skate 4 park editor or such needs to be, like more realistic and restricted as well? Or can they do some wild shit with it?
I mean, yeah, I think they probably will end up doing some wild shit with it. They'll definitely want to step up from Skate 3. I'm just concerned that they're going to try to step up from the Tony Hawk remake, and like, regardless of what they do, I feel like they're kind of in a lose-lose situation just because they're coming second,
The main thing is that as long as we can make mega parks and much bigger mega parks, I am down for it.
Hopefully, yeah.
As long as we can make both mega parks and realistic parks.
We could literally make the Ultra X games.
Oh my god. The EXPN games.
They could make the Insetic games.
Oh shit.
Mark
Yeah.
Appleyard.
Sponsored by Insetic.
So, sorry, you're the one sponsoring it? It's not like they're sponsoring you making your own thing. You're sponsoring it?
Insetic 47, the voice of extreme sports.
Yeah.
If X Games can sponsor themselves, then I think Insect can sponsor himself.
I mean, I like to think that this is after Insetic, blows up and has trillions of fans on YouTube.
Right.
Who
Yeah.
subscribe and just give
Any day
him money.
now. Any
Like
day
they just come up to you on the street and are like, "I love your YouTube channel so much. Here is $20."
Yeah.
And you
Sir?
have like trillions of fans. And
Mr.
so like this
Insetic?
happens like every
Do I
minute.
have, Mr. Insetic, do I have your permission to empty my bank account and give you all the money? And you say, yes.
Yeah.
And then you give a big old wink to the camera.
Insect has all the fans, all the money, all the bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's living the life.
it's like the beginning of which episode of True Bloods was it? The one before the last one?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, Jinsei
Jinsei
Bridge.
Yeah,
too.
Jinsei Abridged, yeah.
I was on top of the world. I had billions of fans.
I think he said he had millions of fans and billions of followers,
Yeah.
which implies something really weird. Like, I follow his career, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan.
Yeah, no. I'm preying on your downfall.
Yeah, I'm hoping. As soon as you die, I will be the new champion of
Oh my.
Oh my god, that's True Bloods D10. Or, yeah, True Bloods D10. If you have
True Bloods,
millions
yeah.
of fans, if you have millions of haters, I'm one of them. If you have one hater, I am the one
mean,
hater. If you have no haters, it must be because I died.
I
mean, at
but,
that
but
point-
also, what's millions of fans and billions of followers if you don't have your best friend Kyle?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought it was
Yeah.
your brother.
No.
Well, True
No,
Blunts
True
was
your,
True Blunts' brother.
He was your asshole abridging brother,
Right.
who stole your
Right.
best friend Kyle.
Who definitely existed before we wrote that, and then continued to exist after we never saw him again.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
He killed his brother. Now we're just talking about True Bloods. Like, Zin hasn't even seen True Bloods, but
I tried.
He
I mean,
killed
I
his.
could actually pivot this in a relevant way.
Well, I just want to say it's crazy that the character killed his brother to get his friend back, and then the two of them just drifted apart 6 months later.
Right. So, actually, the guy who played Kyle, our friend Jeremy, like,
Good man.
just before recording, posted some, Snapchats or such of him running, like, Skate 1 on, like, a Steam Deck or something.
Oh, he has a Steam Deck? That's cool.
All right, like, you'll have to, like, watch it and see. So, yeah, that was kind of cool.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like the kind of thing he would do.
Yeah.
J-Man's great.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember that one just out of fucking nowhere quote from that episode where he just like, here on Spaceship Earth, you have no power here.
No, he said, here on Spaceship Earth, no one gives a fuck.
No, it gives a...
Oh, it gives up.
Or the original line was just, no one gives a fuck about you, and instead he changed it on the day to, here on Spaceship Earth, no one gives a pause. He pauses and then goes, fuck. Like he's trying to think of the next word. Like, it was so hard to film that day because we were cracking up.
I mean, yeah, there's... The great thing about that is there's the jokes that everyone recognizes and loves and laughs at, and then there's even more jokes underneath that are, I guess, like, so subtle or specific that only, like you and I know about. Like, I mean, like, I'm gonna abridge Dragon Ball Z, and then he starts showing just Team 4 Stars abridging with replacing I'm gonna turn you into Karibo Pile of Fur, and then going into Lorem Ipsum.
Like he's literally
there's like
reading
5
Lorem
fucking
Ipsum.
jokes in that alone.
Like gonna do something no one's
like,
ever done. Does
Dragon
the
Ball
thing
Z
everyone's heard of.
Dragon Ball Z Abridged was like the most popular one after the original Yu-Gi-Oh one.
Yeah. But
It's
I don't know. And like I don't know, I was thinking about that. Like we filmed all that shit to make another one and then we never did. And I still have the footage, but like I was looking back at it and like if we wanted to actually do it, we should really like refilm all of it, to be honest. Like we didn't know what we were doing with that camera. We needed to.
Yeah, it was.
Gotta bring the commitment in.
It's a great script though. The script is still fantastic.
Yeah.
God. I think you need to make an Insetiverse.
An Insetiverse? Like what would the
where
Insetiverse be? I feel like
Insetic,
Insetiverse.
DJ Insetic, True Bloods, and Connor all exist.
you know what?
Damn.
Actually, I think there was some talk that Connor and Bob as people exist in the True Bloods universe and also one level above the True Bloods universe. Like, there was a part of the script for the most recent, the last movie that we didn't ever complete, where we broke character and addressed the camera as ourselves, but as, like, character versions of ourselves. So there's, like, the real us, the us that, quote-unquote, made True Bloods, and then there's True Bloods as its own layer.
God.
And it was, like, semi-fourth wall breaking. It was very stupid. I don't even know if that joke would work anymore.
Did we come up with all of this? Not even just the, stuff for what we filmed, but like all these ideas of having like a bunch of different versions of ourselves or whatever. Before we saw Rick and Morty?
Yeah.
And the Council of Ricks and such?
Yeah, and like we can't do any, like I had a whole thing about like True Bloods D9 goes to True Blood C9, and like they swap universes, but it turns out there's a universal invariant that Greg hates all the True Bloodses across all the multiverse, regardless of how successful he is, and then C9 and D9 are against each other. All of that, we can't use any of it, because Rick and Morty did all of that before we could.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Also, be creative, kids, while you can, and make as much as you can, because
Yeah, straight up. If you want to make like a stupid movie, make the stupid movie.
One day it'll catch up to you, and you'll be in your late 20s, and you got to work so much for your job that you can't even record videos to continue your Let's Plays on YouTube, or such.
Or you'll just be like, in your late 20s and have a bad knee now. I'm a dude who has a bad knee. I never thought I'd be a bad knee guy, but I have a bad knee. I can't walk around that much.
You're in the bad knee club.
Write all the hilarious, stuff you can while you have time, or otherwise you'll have great story ideas and be able to still consistently come up with funny as fuck ideas, but then never actually sit down and write them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much we've talked about, like, Ultraman Black 147, but,
my God.
Bob and I just the other day were going back and forth with great Fern Gully quotes or ideas.
Yeah.
But it's like, will any of these go into any chapters? I don't know.
I want to. I mean, I fucking love what we wrote.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Fern Gully 2, I think, is the greatest piece of literature ever written.
I'll have to link that.
Oh my God, it's so
for
good.
any viewers who don't know. Bob and I, mostly used to, but still think we can get back in the game.
Once every few months we'll get together and
writing
write
like
some more.
intentionally bad fan fiction or stories, but not like in the lazy troll way. Like, no, we really figure
this
out
shit is
these like
workshopped
funny ass
to
things
high
that
hell.
like if someone didn't know, you could think it was real, but if you do know, you see just how much effort we put into it.
Yeah, like we put a shit ton of
know.
effort into both the story itself and then the backstory of why the story is written the way it is. Because in our minds at least, there's like a backstory for the author who's writing it, and so
it's like a Danger 5 or Kung Fury type of
right.
So bad it's good, but actually also
in a smart
funny
way.
or impressive in what they do.
That's the intention, at least. I don't know. Maybe people won't like that, but
there's an alternate universe where Mr. Armenta is a well-known Tumblr sexy man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you
that's
could
so weird
stand
for you to
Mr.
say
Armenta.
because Mr. Armenta was the name of my calculus teacher.
Yeah, I mean, we took real last names.
So that's why he's called Mr. Armenta in the story. And Mr. Armenta in real life is a short, old, bald.
My God.
Famously, Mr. Armenta would say the way he taught his kids to swim was he pushed them into the pool and said, "Swim."
Yeah. We were coming up with holiday special ideas, just the other day.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can even if I say any of them would there'd be absolutely zero context.
I'll read one that I don't think we will actually use, but I came up with this one. Just someone is about to beat up Fern and they say, "Eat your greens, kiddo, cause you're about to get filled up with this knuckle sandwich."
God.
He said, "I looked down at his fists and knew I was lunch meat."
Oh, Fern. Fern, that doesn't mean anything. Fern, that makes no sense.
No, because he's gonna eat a knuckle sandwich. So he's the lunch meat. It's nonsense. It's so stupid.
So fucking dumb. See, we laugh so much, but
It's so fucking stupid.
And flex.
and flex on them. Show the dog one more time. The dog looks a lot like Franker Z.
Yeah, it
does.
I checked. It's not Franker Z.
When you first showed it, I was thinking to myself, is it possible to upload your own tattoos? Did he just upload
No.
Franker Z? Why?
No.
It turns out that sometimes dogs look like each other.
Yeah,
Dude,
it
if
turns
I
out.
was gonna upload an image file to be a custom tattoo, which now maybe should be a feature for I would have uploaded Cranker Z.
Yeah, of course.
Rick McCrank's face.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So we've seen the university on the lots. We've seen the industrial on the lots. So that means next time we're going downtown to those. So join us then.